We are finally here, the fifth layer of the abyss. Up until now, the deeper we've gone, the darker the environment has become. And this layer is the darkest one we've seen so far. Vertically, this is the shortest layer of the abyss, only 1,000 meters deep, but it is also the widest, estimated to be tens of times larger than Earth. We'll talk about the Sea of Corpses and the curse of this layer later. Larger structures formed of crystallized water, known to delvers as frost, are scattered throughout this layer. These structures are referred to as either water supports or water bastions, the latter being permanent formations held by the force field. We see one of them collapse, creating a new path for our team to walk through. Akito explained in one of the streams how these collapses form passes. As far as I can recall, it's the edges and the intersections of the disk that remain after they collapse, forming a white way. Reg is curious whether there are any life forms in this layer, and Riko remembers Hamashiramas and the fact that they are also safe to eat. Reg dives in to catch one for dinner. We immediately see that its form is really strange. It actually looks like a penis. Since very little light reaches the depths of this sea, the creatures living here don't look normal. They are similar to the deep-sea creatures we find in the real world, which are often pretty terrifying too. In this extra panel of the manga, we can read more about them and see how they swim. Many of the aquatic creatures of the fifth layer, including Hamashirama, are said to be unaffected by the strains of ascending. These creatures possess many sensory organs that the surface organisms do not. They have been reported to spew their viscous liquid innards to immobilize predators and then use them as living shields. We also get to see the inside of a Hamashirama, and it's absolutely disgusting. By far, this is the most disgusting meal we've seen anyone eat in the abyss so far. It tastes sweet, which is strange, and it's incredibly slimy. It's also best eaten raw, which somehow makes it even more disgusting. I hope I never end up in Reg's position having to try one. After eating, Nanachi begins wondering about their fate and the new wish they want to pursue. We see them wanting to learn how to cook, so maybe when they reach the bottom, they'll be able to cook for Mitty. Nanachi's new wish is to meet Mitty again, and that finally allows them to go on the adventure they've always wanted. But Nanachi, being a realist, doubts they'll actually be able to achieve it. Riko reminds them that this is the abyss after all, a place where one's desires can take form and become reality. So it's too soon to give up on our greatest dreams. We finally reach Ido Front at the lowest part of the fifth layer. Its design and appearance are truly out of this world. The whole structure rotates around the wire pool and the altar of the absolute boundary. The cylindrical structure above Ido Front is a pillar of frost. Nanachi says that this place is the remains of a ritual site from thousands of years ago. They also say this is where one takes their last dive into the absolute boundary. Even in Season 2, where we see people from 3,500 years ago, this place already looks like ancient ruins. That means the people who have built it must have lived far deeper into the ancient past. We later understand what rituals were practiced here by those ancient people. The ritual that creates a white whistle through the sacrifice of a loved one is something we'll discuss in depth later. Let's talk about the last dive. We know the fifth layer is the last place one can return from while keeping their humanity. Once someone descends into the sixth layer, they can never come back, hence the name Last Dive. The act of choosing to go somewhere you can never return from is itself incredibly significant. The fact that one also needs the sacrifice of another person to do it makes it even more meaningful. Not many people have been brave enough to challenge a chasm that demands such sacrifices. We'll also later talk about what it means to leave your body behind in the Sea of Corpses and descend into the absolute boundary. Our group reaches the entrance, and along the way, Nanachi warns everyone to be very careful about what they say and what they hear. They say information is power, and that's absolutely true. We are not about to face a demon here at Ido Front, but a complex personality that contains both magnificence and malevolence. We then see Prushka come to welcome our travelers. This is the unexpected first appearance of a new character, one our group doesn't really understand at first. Prushka has a playful, talkative personality and immediately tries to befriend everyone, but the group stays quiet, confused about who she really is. She also seems a bit insecure around them because she innocently knows very little about Earth and the outside world, and is excited to learn everything she can. And here he comes, Bondrewd along with the Umbra Hands. This scene is incredibly intense and genuinely frightening. At the same time, Prushka is genuinely happy to see him, which makes the whole situation even more confusing for our group. Bondrewd's entrance is perfectly paced and immediately establishes his aura as one of the greatest antagonists in anime. His voice is calm and he is incredibly polite and well-mannered. He congratulates Nanachi on finally being able to set Mitty free. Nanachi asks whether he'll allow them to use the altar and descend into the 6th layer. He says he doesn't mind at all, but unfortunately, the altar cannot be activated without a white whistle, and Liza's whistle doesn't work because her life insignia doesn't match, not even between a mother and her child. The term life insignia is actually very important. In chapter 67, we learn that one of the roles of the soul is assigning a life insignia. So souls are essential, and the relationship between a white whistle and its owner is tied together through their souls. Bondrewd then shows his own whistle and explains that it was made using a relic known as your worth, the life reverberating stone. Again in chapter 67, we learn that this relic inherits a soul and preserves it within itself. Riko's reckless optimism finally catches up to her. She believes she would somehow find a way to activate the altar, but now she finds herself completely out of options. Bondrewd tells Prushka to accompany them to their room, so they can rest and think things over. As for the final shot, we see Bondrewd and the Umbra Hands silently watching our group. It's incredibly unsettling, because we have no idea what's going on inside that masked man's head. As for analyzing Bondrewd, I'd rather explore him little by little throughout this movie, instead of covering everything at once. After all, he's an incredibly complex character, with many layers and nuances. In the next episode, we'll talk more about him and his ambitions. I hope you enjoyed this episode. See you in the next one.